We bought this 32 feet sailboat on Marketplace for just $4,000. By far the cheapest boat of its size at the time. And then we spent 4 months learning how to sail it. We are Sally, Adam, and the baby captain. And we actually had no sailing experience when we bought this boat. We wanted a cheap sailboat with a working engine and decent sails, so that we could go sailing immediately to see if we actually enjoyed it. Our budget was $4,000 and we just went for the biggest boat possible. But the standing headroom and the bow thruster were not bad either.
You like the bow thruster?
Too easy.
And would you know it, we now love sailing. But winter is arriving in Denmark and that means hauling out and spending the next 6 months on land, refitting the boat to make it ready for a huge adventure. This spring we want to sail the boat through the canals of Europe and down to the Mediterranean and sail all the way to Greece. So, can we make this cheap sailboat ready for such a trip in just 6 months on a very limited budget and also with no boat refitting experience? Well, subscribe to our channel to follow the journey. Let's get to work. Alright, so obviously we have a lot of work to do on our boat and it's kind of hard to keep track of it all. So let's break it down, like what do we need? And I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Here you are. This is our boat. Okay, so now that we emptied out the boat, we can more easily see where all of the little leaks are. So that's number one, we will fix leaks. Next we have to remodel the salon. We have to make like a bigger bed area because we want to use that more. And the next one is a really big one. We're actually gonna replace all of the electronics, which means we're gonna pull out everything and bring in some new shit. And this one I'm really excited about. We're gonna remodel the kitchen, which is gonna be really nice because we want to put in a fridge, we want to put in a larger sink, and we also need to insulate our boat so we don't freeze, which we do a lot in Denmark. It's very, very cold. We need to insulate everything. Replace. See. Cox. I feel like that should be blurred also when I'm saying it. Beep. Yeah, beep. So we're gonna do that because they're like 50 years old and they need to be replaced. New water tank and plumbing. Sand and paint, all interior. This is gonna take a long time. New solar panels, and we need a lot of them. And we are gonna need to paint the deck. And I completely forgot this one. Which is a whole project of its own.
Pretty nice list.
You're blocking the drawing.
I'm blocking the beautiful boat. I'm sorry. So we have about 6 months to get through this list and all of the stuff that we don't have on the list. But we're gonna try to do as much as we can ourselves and as cheaply as possible to get our very cheap sailboat down to the Mediterranean. Are you feeling optimistic?
Sure.
Obviously the list is like a lot longer. I mean, replace all the electronics, that's gonna take a long time and it's gonna have to be done over several steps over the next 6 months. So this is more to get the big picture and so that we have some kind of list to follow and perhaps we can start checking off some items as we go along. All right, back to boat work. And so here we are now with the boat on land. We got the boat hauled out, I think 2 days ago. And it's kind of nice that we do it all together in this very small little yacht club. So they rent a crane and then we all pay like $100 and we all haul out at the same time and help each other out. It was this close to becoming a huge nightmare for us. So at first the crane kind of got the straps and started lifting up our boat, and they had the strap on our sail drive when they started lifting. So I hope that didn't do any damage. But of course then they dropped the boat and did it again. No problem. We get the boat on land, down into our little stand here, and we all kind of start adjusting the legs up and down to make it fit the boat. And then like the two head honchos who were kind of taking charge and making sure that everything went smoothly, they just say, no, you're going back in the water, mate. And I'm just like, no fucking way. And he's saying, yeah, your stand is just too small. The boat won't fit. You have to go back in the water. And so that was like the longest minute ever. I'm just thinking, oh, how much everything is going to cost if we have to pull out only by ourselves, another place, but pay for another place to store the boat. A huge nightmare. But then the good thing about being like 20 guys helping each other out with this, one of them is like, hey, hold on a second. What if we remove some of the blocks under the keel and just add some smaller ones? Maybe we can even put some blocks under the stand itself to raise the stand a little bit. Like the legs on the stand were just a little too short apparently. And so we tried that and it kind of worked. So here we are. It's not perfect, but I mean the experienced guys, they said, yeah, this will be fine. And we are sitting like a little bit, not completely straight, so we are heeling over just slightly. Let's see what this guy does. So I mean, we're on land and the boat is pretty secure, but of course we need to perhaps adjust things a little bit, maybe add a little extra stand here or there, and try to straighten the boat, I don't know. And another fun part of it is like, this was our first time ever seeing the bottom of the boat when we hauled out, so we had no clue what was waiting for us. I think we were pleasantly surprised. There are a few things I think we need to have a look at. So I'm thinking we go and get Sally and the baby, and then we can do a little walk around of the bottom of the boat.
It's cold. So this is actually the first time that I'm seeing the boat like on the ground. So I'm gonna have a look at how it looks on the lower top of the boat. I don't know what you say.
Lower top?
The lower bottom. The lower.
The bottom.
The bottom part. The bottom part of the boat, which I've never seen before.
What do you think?
So, like, first impression, it looks actually really nice. I believe the old owner he refurbished it like a year ago, so it's pretty new and it looks kind of nice. Only like a few little here and there. So overall, I think it looks good, especially like compared to our neighbor. No shaming. It actually looks really nice. It looks really new, except for the little scratches and the red stuff and this stuff.
This is algae.
Yeah,
I think
algae.
because I scraped it off when we took it on land, and I think I just didn't. The green stuff is just what I didn't get off, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so the red stuff, I think, is the paint underneath it or the primer underneath it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And so I think they do it in a different color, so like we're able to see where it's worn off easier.
Yeah, that would make sense. So this looks like it's been picked up from the bottom of the ocean, like a part of the Titanic. So it's been there since 1912, all rusty and broken. I don't know, like, can't believe this even works. It's like really thinned out, like maybe hit up here or something like that. It looks like, yeah, it would hit. I don't know, like how big this used to be.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
I don't know if that's even possible, but it looks like it could be that.
Because there is I think here you can see it. Well, that could explain it at least, but
It's like a really deep hit.
yeah. I don't know how else we would get a hole in this spot, because this is like probably the most protected area of the...
So,
We need a new propeller.
I think we do.
I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised. We've been doing pretty good speeds with the propeller, that we have half a propeller basically.
Yeah, actually, it does look half, like, it's like missing a huge part here. Oh, that's where you hit the bridge. Wait, stop! You actually landed a bit on top of the bridge. So I was like very impressed that it still held up and you didn't like crush it down.
Solid
so
bridge.
That's what it looks like.
Solid boat.
Is this where the anchor is? Shut up.
This is the bow thruster that helps us move the boat like side to side.
I'm new at this. Where
was
does
kind of
the
fun.
anchor go? Where is it?
Well, it goes up here.
Oh, I thought it had like
It sits there.
a little place down. Okay.
Yeah, it's right now. It's inside.
Okay. So I'm guessing that the only thing we really like have to put time and energy on to
And money.
and money to kind of like make better would be like this. But I do believe that these are very, very expensive, right?
I don't know.
If you like have any tips on what kind of propeller and how much it should cost, please let us know. It's a Princess 32.
Okay, I'm back up on the boat by myself. We don't really want to bring the baby up here, so we kind of have to work around that, of course. But in the last episode, we pulled down the ceiling here because we want to replace it. And I was basically about to just throw it all out. But then I started thinking it could perhaps be useful to have the old, ceiling panels and use them as templates when we make the new ceiling to put up there. So I'm thinking I'll try to see if I can figure out where each panel was, make a little note so I will know later, and then I can just use them as templates when we are ready for the new ones. Because we are also gonna put in some insulation in the ceiling and also in the walls. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, to be honest. It would have been a lot easier if I just did it while I was pulling down the ceiling, but hey, there you go. So what I did was basically just put a number and of course the microphone cutout. But what I did was just to mark the number on each of the panels, and then I made this beautiful drawing of where each of the panels go on the boat. So when we need to make the templates and install the new panels, it'll be easy. It's a new day here on the boat, and we now have electricity. Pulled a bunch of very long outdoor electrical cables, so now we can have some light. We can use all of our tools, so that will be very handy. Especially because it's like 4 p.m. now, and it's getting dark. But I'm here to tie up a few loose ends, I guess. I had a talk with one of the guys here in the marina, and we talked about our propeller because he saw how smashed up it was. And he said that, yeah, mate, this is because you don't have a zinc anode, I think. So that's why at least some of the tear is on the propeller and some of the other places. Which is not great, but I mean, we can add a new anode. We kind of found where the anode probably sat before, so it's probably at least for the past year this boat has been sailing with no zinc anode. And when Sally talked about us having to fix the leaks, now we've basically found out where all of the leaks are. After pulling out all of the cabinets and everything, it's much easier to see, and basically it's coming from all of the stanchions and these few spots where the rigging attaches to the deck. And then there are a few other parts where they have screwed in something, and if you can see this looks horrible. It looks like they have added a patch of fiberglass here at some point, and that was probably shit. But most of the leaks are from those stanchions and bolts that go through the deck. So we need to figure out how to fix that, especially since the weather's getting really cold. So I don't know how about like epoxying on all of that in this type of weather, but yeah. We'll have to figure that out because we definitely want a dry boat. But in last week's episode, I actually started working on the companionway, like the washboards, because they were just looking very tired, and so tried to spruce them up a little bit. It took a little bit longer than expected, but now we are somewhat finished. So let's have a look. So the first part was actually this top hatch here. And that has turned out really nice after a bunch of sanding and a lot of oil. This looks kind of brand new. I mean, it's a really nice, fresh look for this guy. Then we have the washboards, but I ended up painting them white on the outside because the side was just too damaged and I really couldn't get it to look nice. So it got painted white, and I think that will look quite alright. And then on the inside, we just sanded it down and added some oil to keep this, I don't know, light wood look. Maybe we'll paint this side too at one point. We'll see. And one of the things I did with these washboards was to add some new pieces of trim around some of the edges, because in some places they had just fallen off. But these new pieces of trim aren't, like, I guess exactly the right size. So here's what's happening. Yeah, basically the top piece doesn't go down further than this, which is not ideal. But now, since we have power, I brought the sander, and we can start sanding away at the new trim pieces and hopefully get a perfect fit. Alright, that should do it. And I mean, now it's 5 p.m. and now it's completely dark. Let's see how these new freshened up washboards look like. That is really tight. So the problem before, because they didn't have the trim, there were basically kind of big gaps in the side. So I mean, water, when it was raining a lot, could get in. And also just a lot of air, so it was really breezy all the times in the cabin. But this is really tight. That also means that we should now be able to actually lock the companionway for the first time. There we go. And that doesn't look too bad. Fix up these edges here, same as the top one, and this will look really nice, I think. Awesome. Not bad for our first kind of finished project. That might be a little fiddling around just to get the perfect fit, and maybe we want to paint it on the inside as well at some point, but one project down, 1,000 to go. Next week we're gonna do some woodworking, because we're gonna tackle the salon. We're gonna have to do some, I guess, kind of redecorating. We want to turn this kind of table here into more of a bed, and then build a table right where I'm sitting. Basically changing out the layout, and we want to do it kind of as one of the first things, because this will also influence where we're able to, I guess, run our wires and put all of the new water tanks and batteries and all of that. So I think it's nice to have that figured out. After that, we're gonna rip out all of the electrical work, all of the wires, almost everything has to go. So stick around for that, and to follow this journey of these two idiots trying to renovate a 51-year-old boat. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.